Hey, what's going on, guys? In this video we are going to see how to find unit tangent vector and unit normal vectors. Now in order to find unit tangent vector, first of all we have to find the tangent vector. That's going to be r prime of t. So this is just r prime of t. Let's make it clear. R prime of t, and r prime of t is tangent vector divided by magnitude of tangent vector, and then that is unit tangent vector. Then unit normal vector is unit tangent vector derivative, right? That is normal vector, and divided by unit normal vector, and that's actually divided by magnitude of normal vector, and that's going to give us unit normal vector. Now let's go ahead and find the unit tangent vector first. Now first we are going to find the derivative, and here if you notice we have two functions. These two are equal because this is component form. We write this one in component form, and if you expand, like if you write it as a function like this is same, right? And let's keep it as component form and find the derivative. Derivative of t is going to be just 1. Derivative of 3 cos t is going to be minus 3 sin t, and then derivative of 3 sin t is going to be 3 cos t. Now we have found the r prime t, that's our tangent vector. Now we have to find the magnitude of tangent vector. Magnitude of tangent vector is going to be just square of these and add them together and then square root. So this is going to be square root of 1 square plus negative 3 sin t whole square plus 3 cos t whole square, and let's simplify. So this is going to be just 1 plus 9 sin t square, actually sin square t, plus 9 cos square t, and here what we can do is we can keep the 1 plus, and we can take the 9 common, and sin square t plus cos square t. You can already see that this is a trig identity. When we have sin square t plus cos square t, we can just replace it with 1. So this is going to be just 1 plus 9 times 1, and that's going to give us square root of 10, right? Because 9 times 1, that's just 9. 9 plus 1, that's going to be square root of 10. Now we have found out the magnitude, and we have found out the tangent vector and the magnitude of tangent vector. Now to find the unit tangent vector, we have to use this equation. T of t is going to be equal to r prime of t, that is this one, and magnitude of r prime of t is square root of 10. Now instead of dividing by this, we can also write this one like 1 over square root of 10 multiplied by this tangent vector. That's going to be 1 minus 3 sin t times 3 cos t, right? So here we can keep this one like this. Okay, now we have find this one. Now the next thing is we have to find the unit normal vector. To find the unit normal vector, we have to find the derivative of this one. No, that's going to be normal vector. And if you find the derivative of this one, that's going to be, we can keep the outside this constant as it is, because constant it's not like we don't have to do anything. So we can keep 1 over root 10 like this, and let's take the derivative of this one. Derivative of 1 is going to be 0, and derivative of negative 3 sin t is going to be negative 3 cos t, and derivative of 3 cos t is going to be negative 3 sin t. And we know that this one times 0, that's going to be 0, but let's keep this one also like this. And here one more thing we can do, we can take the negative 3 common, right? Because if you take common and multiply by 0, it's not going to change the 0 anyway, right? So we can take the negative 3 common, and that's gonna give us negative 3 over root 10 times 0 times cos t times sin t. So this is our t prime t. Now we have to find the magnitude of t prime t. Let's go ahead and find it. Magnitude of t prime t is going to be equal to square root of these things. So square of negative 3 over square root of 10 square plus, actually not plus, vector cos square t plus sine square t, and we can see that this is going to be just equal to 1, so we can just avoid it, right? Just 1, and this is going to be just 9 over 10, and that's going to be 3 over root 10. And now we have found out t prime of t, actually magnitude of t prime of t. The question is asking to find the unit normal vector, that is t prime of t divided by magnitude of t prime of t, right? So we need some space, we have to deal with this. So but before I do that, I just note down the first answer, unit tangent vector, we found out right here, right? So this is our first answer. Let's get rid of this one. Okay, okay, now let's continue this part. Now we are trying to find unit normal vector, that is equal to, actually n of t is equal to t prime of t, that is negative 3 over root 10 times 0, actually vector 0 times cos t times sine comma sine t, and then we have to divide by the magnitude of t prime of t, that is 3 over root 10, and you can already see these two cancels, and we have a negative 1 left here. So the final answer is going to be negative 1 times 0 cos t sine t, and we can just multiply this negative 1 inside, so that's going to give us 0 minus cos t minus sine t, and that's going to be our unit normal vector. And here we have found out the unit tangent vector, and this is our unit normal vector, and those are our final answers. I hope you guys find this video helpful. See you next time.